Today I am going to tell you a story of four people, two of whom had been approaching each other to meet for a certain task, and while on their way towards a common point, they had been walking and walking. They did not drive because they wanted to enjoy the nature, so they decided to walk and meet each other. However, one of them happened to notice a malnourished child on the way. He was about to fall down, maybe because he had not eaten for a certain time. He was so malnourished, he was so lean, he was so feeble that he was standing on the cliff and even watching the view down the hill. He was interested to look the world around him. However, all of a sudden, dizziness entered into him, so he was about to fall down. And the person who was just near to him suddenly tried to pull him up, pull him towards him, save him. So the child was saved, otherwise he could have fallen from the cliff. But at the same time, the other person who was approaching to meet this person also encountered the same incident. As he was walking towards the common point, he found a beggar who was begging on the cliff, just at the edge of the cliff. However, there were no people who had cared the beggar. No one had offered him the food nor the money. So he was also about to fall down the cliff. But the other person who was coming just near him as he was about to fall down, he suddenly decided to let him go, let him fall off the cliff by just pushing him down. He did not try to pull him up from the cliff. And the story gets completed. And what is the story? What is the message of this story? Is that there are two categories of people. One is stronger and other is weaker in this world. No one in this world is either stronger or weaker. There are mixed categories of people. Some are physically weaker and some are differently weaker. But there are other groups of people who are supposed to be more stronger, and they are supposed to save the weak people on account of humanity. However, some people try to push the other just like the beggar who was pushed off the cliff in spite of being saved. So, the strength of some people have been misused. They have been misused against the weaker. Every strength must be used for the weaker. If you get power, if you are in power, you are not meant to be there to look down upon the poor or the weak people in your nation. You are supposed to uplift them. Just because you have power and they do not have, this doesn't mean that you can exploit the people around you. And so the poor beggar died from the cliff while the sober child was saved because of two different kind of people.